Sai Ram. It was the 24th of July 1982. In the city of Bangalore, Karnataka, India, at the Jnana Bharati University campus, in its library, a movie shooting was in progress. This was a Hindi movie titled Coolie, and it was being led in the protagonist role by superstar Sri Amitabh Bachchan. Now, a coolie in Hindi means a porter who carries luggage, usually on the railway platform. Now, this was based on the lives of the coolies in Mumbai, in the city of Bombay back then. But since none of the railway stations were available without the local trains running, the movie was shot on the railway platforms in the city of Bangalore. Now, in this scene, there was a fight going on between the villain, Mr. Puneet Hisar, and the protagonist, the hero, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. In this fight scene, a punch was wrongly landed onto the superstar's stomach because of a mistimed jump, and the superstar went flying and landed at the edge of a table. And after that, Sri Amitabh Bachchan got up with great pain in his abdomen. He seemed to be vomiting and he was definitely suffering from some serious problem. Now, this scene has been immortalized in the movie as well, because the movie pauses and lets the viewer know that this was the scene when Amitabh Bachchan got injured. Needless to say, the shooting was immediately halted and the superstar was taken back to his hotel. But then the pain did not seem to subside, and when it became more and more severe, he was rushed to the Philomenas Hospital where he got admitted. A few doctors suggested that surgery should be immediately done to determine how much is the damage and what repairs need to be done within the actor's stomach. But then many other doctors said that there were no other symptoms that showed that such a surgery is necessary, and so this debate went on. In the meanwhile, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan's condition began to deteriorate. Over the next 3 days, it had become so bad that there was pus and infection in the stomach. The small intestine and large intestine had got ruptured. The lungs had begun to deteriorate. And worst of all, the superstar went into a coma. The doctors gave him only 50% chance to live. It was at this time in the life of Amitabh Bachchan, who is today known as Big B, that the person whom I call in my life as the biggest B, that is Baba, decided to enter. When the actor's condition had deteriorated so much, that was when Dr. H.S. Bhat was called in. Now, Dr. H.S. Bhat is a legend. He is known as the father of urology in India. This urologist par excellence is so brilliant and decisive, and he was the first doctor who took some decisive action with regards to the actor. He did all the things that were necessary along with his team and stabilized Sri Amitabh Bachchan so that he could be airlifted and flown to Bombay to Breach Candy Hospital, where further treatment would ensue. Now, interestingly, Dr. H.S. Bhat, this legendary urologist, is a devotee of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. In fact, he headed the urology department in the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences when it was opened in 1991, and he served Bhagawan till the end of his life. In fact, all the VIP guests, whoever would arrive to Puttaparthi Prashantinilayam and visit the hospital, made it a point to visit Dr. Bhat, including Shri Ratan Tata. So, in a way, indirectly, Bhagawan had already got into the life of this superstar. I feel that it was possibly Dr. Bhatt's involvement that made a few well-wishers from Sri Amitabh Bachchan's family and from his friends to travel all the way to Madras in order to meet Swami. Now, when we look at the Sanatana Sarathi of August 1982, we come to know that Swami had made a sudden trip to Chennai, that back then it was called Madras, on the 1st and 2nd of August. He was there blessing the devotees and filled that whole city with joy, bliss and gratitude. And that is why these family members and friends, well-wishers of Sri Amitabh Bachchan, travelled to Sundaram in Madras to seek Swami's blessings. Unfortunately for them, by the time they arrived, Swami had already left for Prashanthi Nilayam, and therefore they could not meet Swami. But then they happened to meet a group of devotees. One of them happened to be Sri Srinivasan. Now, Sri Srinivasan was a Sevadal volunteer there at Sundaram, and just that day before leaving, Swami had blessed all of them with Vibhuti packets. So he gave this Vibhuti packet to these friends and family members of Sri Amitabh Bachchan and told them, kindly apply this to the person, to the patient, and let there be a little Vibhuti put into his mouth. Swami's blessings and grace will always be there. And thus that Vibhuti packet was transported to Sri Amitabh Bachchan. Dear brothers and sisters, Vibhuti is a very, very potent and powerful blessing from God. Never take it lightly, and know for sure that this Vibhuti, is so powerful. In fact, Professor Kasturi, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's biographer, used to apply Vibhuti like 3 huge lines across his forehead. And Swami would make fun of him, asking, "Hey Kasturi, what is that bandage?" And Professor Kasturi would reply saying, "Swami, this is not a bandage. This is that which will remove all my bondage." That is the power of Vibhuti, and it was felt by Sri Amitabh Bachchan as well, because if we look at the timeline of his accident, injury and recovery, the positive thing, the upward trend in his health began from the 4th or 5th of August. That is once this Vibhuti reached him and it was put on his tongue. It took quite a while for this superstar to recover completely, and it is only 2 months after the accident, that is on the September 24th, 1982, that he returned back to the sets of Coolie and began to work on this movie. Once the shooting was completed, the actor definitely wanted to personally express his gratitude to Swami, and that is why he travelled once again to the city of Madras, which is called Chennai today, because in the January of 1983, Swami was once again at Madras. You see, the 19th of January is the day when Swami inaugurated that beautiful Sundaram. Sundaram itself means beautiful. The abode, the temple at Madras. In 1981, he had inaugurated it. And after that, for several years, Swami would make sure that for the Sundaram anniversary, he was always there in Madras. And so Swami was in Madras when Sri Amitabh Bachchan also arrived there, and Swami blessed him with an interview. And we don't know what happened in the interview. Swami spoke many things which are not out in public, and the actor has chosen not to reveal. But this much Sri Amitabh Bachchan himself revealed, that Swami materialized Vibhuti, procuring it from the thin air, he says. Swami gave it to him and blessed him and assured him of his grace and protection always. That movie Coolie, which Sri Amitabh Bachchan had been shooting, went on to become a superstar blockbuster. It was released in the December of 1983, and it was received by the fans and audiences with great vigor, energy and enthusiasm. Naturally, because this was a movie that almost cost the life of their dear hero, Sri Amitabh Bachchan. Interestingly, according to the original script of the movie, Sri Amitabh Bachchan was the character. That character in the movie had to die towards the end of the movie. But the director felt that this would not be good to do it like this. Just now he has returned from a life-threatening situation. I don't want to even think of killing him even in a movie. And that is why the script had been changed. But dear brothers and sisters, even before the movie director could think of changing the script writer and the ultimate director of the entire universe had already rewritten the script. He had decided that this was not the time when Sri Amitabh Bachchan would be passing on, and with his immense love, blessings and grace, he recovered, came back strong, and even to this day, that is in October 2024, Sri Amitabh Bachchan ji is doing very well, and it is my sincere prayers for his well-being and for his health, because he inspires hundreds and thousands and millions of people around the world with his heart, with his head, with his abilities, with his skill and with his talents. When Swami gave up his body in the April of 2011, Sri Amitabh Bachchan fondly recollected this episode where Swami saved his life, and he wrote an ode to him. In that he referred to him as a saint who has done a lot of good for the whole of humanity and also for him. Well, whether we call Swami a saint, whether we call him a social worker, whether we call him a wonderful human being, whether we call him God, it doesn't matter, because whoever comes into the ambit, whoever comes under the grace of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba is sure to get his blessings and win peace of mind and joy in life. You see, Lord Krishna can be called the Lord. He can be called a charioteer. He can be called a friend. He can be called a guru. He can be called an emperor, a king. Whatever we call, it is true. But he is all of that and much beyond. So too, whatever we may call Swami, he is all of that and much beyond. There's an interesting side story over here. Shri Puneet Hisar, whom I said was the villain who was punching Sri Amitabh Bachchan, right? He faced a negative backlash because of this, because everyone felt that he had injured their dear superstar. That was not the case, because Mr. Amitabh Bachchan never treated him in that way. He treated him with love, and it was not like that, but perceptions are that way. So his career took a nosedive, after which he was not getting any films, any movies to act in. But you know, in one incident, we often look at one person and see how it has changed him. But if we look deep, every person involved, everything that happens is always for the ultimate good. Ultimately, Puneet Hisar got the role of a villain in Shri B.R. Chopra's Mahabharata. He was cast into the role of Duryodhana, and he became an instant hit, a legend by himself because of that role that he portrayed. So, though there was a dip for a while, his career too resurfaced, it re-emerged and became much brighter than what it was before. In the end, everything was good, and as we know, all's well that ends well. Dear brothers and sisters, we are very, very fortunate indeed to have known, recognized, accepted and celebrated the ultimate universal director, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. When we have him scripting the story of our lives, directing the flow of our lives, we have nothing to worry about. Just as we go and sit in a theater and enjoy the movie, not getting affected by the ups and downs that get portrayed on the screen, so too we can be witness to the movies of our lives, enjoying it as entertainment without getting affected by the ups and downs of life. May we always remember the Divine Director, and may the love that we have for you, Swami, in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.